Welcome back to the deep dive. If you are tuning in, you are likely navigating the same low-grade anxiety that pretty much every professional is facing right now.
That constant nagging question.
Exactly. Is AI going to take my job?
And if you've been looking for answers, you've probably been hit with, well, a lot of noise. Tactical tips on which prompts to use or which shiny new platform to subscribe to.
Right.
The research we've analyzed suggests that all of that is kind of missing the foundational point. It's just mumbo-jumbo if you don't first understand the structure of professional value itself.
Exactly. Our mission today is not to tell you how to use AI better, but to show you where your value actually resides relative to it.
Yeah.
We've distilled this really robust framework that categorizes, well, almost every job into three essential crystal clear levels: COG, PJ, and RIP.
And this isn't just about identifying a threat or an opportunity. It's about getting a structural map, a real map, so you can stop reacting to every new chatbot and start deliberately positioning yourself.
So by the end of this deep dive, you should know precisely which game you are playing.
And how to either accelerate your success in it or maybe transition to a safer, higher value level.
Okay, let's unpack this structural map. We should start at the bottom floor, the most accessible level, which the framework calls COG, Cognitive Output Generation.
COG is basically where you use large language models, LLMs, and other generative tools to quickly produce digital stuff, documents, images, video scripts. The output is purely cognitive, and the process is, largely automated.
The market here is just flooded with examples. Think about generating entire ebooks overnight or writing course outlines that used to take a professor a week.
Or even just drafting complex ad copy for a client. If your main job used to be generating a high volume of digital content, you are sitting squarely in level 1.
So what really defines this level is how easy it is for anyone to get in.
Exactly. The human is primarily the supervisor of the output. It's like playing a sophisticated video game rather than, performing skilled labor.
So you don't need decades of specialized training.
Not at all. A teenager can play this game just as well as a seasoned professional.
That accessibility is great for lowering the barrier to entry, but I have to ask, if everyone can just generate tons and tons of stuff, as the source puts it, how is that a sustainable strategy?
Well, it's not.
Doesn't the market just become completely saturated?
That is the defining tension of level 1. You cannot charge a high price because clients know. They know that 90% of the labor was done by a machine.
Right.
The only way to survive the COG game is through sheer volume and speed, often relying on really low-cost monetization models.
So we're talking subscriptions, a $10 a month membership for a library of content that you basically just supervise an AI in creating.
Precisely. You are constantly generating words, images, videos, hoping the quantity justifies that low price. If your core value is just creating standard digital things, you have to embrace the limits of level 1.
High competition, low price ceiling, and just constant output. Which takes us into a more restricted and therefore more valuable territory. This is what the framework calls TAJ.
TJ stands for taste, accountability, and judgment. We're moving from the sort of high-speed, high-volume video game of level 1
into the art studio.
Exactly, the art studio. This is where the human input becomes completely non-negotiable.
Okay, let's break that down, starting with taste or talent. I get that AI can imitate, but how does the research define the kind of aesthetic talent that really, resists automation?
Well, the human element here isn't just about technical skill. It's about artistic quality, real design sensibility, and originality. Think of Edmund, the interior designer mentioned in the sources who won an award.
His work wasn't just correct, it was inspired.
Right. Or George Folk, the filmmaker. An AI can generate thousands of images, sure, but it struggles to produce that unique aesthetic synthesis or, that intentional breaking of established rules that defines true artistic talent.
That makes a lot of sense. Taste is subjective, it's contextual, and it relies on synthesizing culture in a way that an LLM, which is just running on statistics, can't really do.
Then you hit A, accountability. And this is a really powerful protective barrier.
Because the human is legally bound.
They have to sign on the dotted line.
So an AI might draft a complex financial report, but a machine is not going to get disbarred if the numbers are fraudulent.
Correct. Accountants certifying financial statements, lawyers signing legal agreements, auditors, licensed real estate brokers, their signature carries real legal weight and tangible risk. That risk is the moat protecting their profession. It's something AI, at least currently, cannot assume.
So that brings up a really interesting question about liability then. What about, say, A doctor who's relying on an AI for diagnostics, where does the system's accountability end and the physician's judgment begin?
And that's where the final component, Jade, judgment, becomes so crucial. Judgment is that professional insight you get from, what, 10, 20 years of real-world application?
Is the ability to override
Based on context the AI doesn't have. The source gave that great example of the business consultant. An LLM can spit out a flawless 50-page business plan.
optimized for the general market, sure.
But the consultant who's worked with that client for years, who knows their specific supply chain problems or their difficult board members, they'll look at that plan and say, no, this is unsuitable.
Because the AI has no skin in the game.
Right. It gives the illusion that it knows a lot, but it hasn't run a physical business or dealt with a labor shortage or managed a real crisis. That gap between data and reality is where human judgment creates immense value.
So level 2 demands a high barrier to entry. You need specialized talent or legal power or just deep professional experience. If you don't have one of those three, you just can't play the TJ game.
Which logically brings us to the highest tier, level 3, the quote, untouchable level, where prices are often highest and replacement by AI is highly unlikely. This is RIP.
Relationships, interpersonal and physical.
This is where the human element really reigns supreme.
So let's start with our relationships. This value isn't about what you produce, but who you know, and the trust that's been built up over years.
Trust is absolutely foundational here. And AI cannot replace the personal bond that's formed with long-term clients, with stakeholders, with investors. We are talking about the kind of trust that binds a community together.
You just can't program that kind of empathy.
No, the value is the context, the history, the reputation you carry with you.
Okay, next is I, interpersonal. This is the value from face-to-face interaction, right? High-level social skills, reading body language.
Exactly. This is where the really good coaches operate, or therapists, high-level consultants. The interaction is the product. They are processing your nonverbal cues and adapting their response in real time. It's a fluid, nuanced exchange that AI just can't match.
It also includes high-stakes selling, which the source mentions.
Oh, absolutely. The ability to sit across from a CEO and close a, 5-figure B2B service package that takes comfort, persuasion, emotional intelligence, skills that level 1 players just haven't had to develop.
And finally, we have P, physical. This protects any job requiring a physical presence.
Or manipulation of objects, or tangible creation.
The list is huge.
It is. Plumbers, hairstylists, electricians, dentists, janitors, they all have to be physically there. It includes the security agent at the airport wearing a sidearm. That physical element is non-negotiable.
And crucially, this also covers physical products. If you're creating, say, handmade jewelry, an AI might design it, but it can't actually make it, package it, and ship it.
And it's important to acknowledge the broad spectrum of accessibility here.
Right.
I mean, being a dentist requires years and years of specialized study to reach level 3. But being a cleaning professional janitor is highly accessible, yet both are fundamentally protected by that P component.
Okay, so we have the map. COG, TJ, RIP. Now for the crucial part. Strategy. What does the listener do once they know which level they're on? How do they apply this?
The strategic decision to move is everything. Look at the digital marketing teacher the source highlighted. They were purely level 1, just generating curriculum.
And then ChatGPT comes along.
Right, and they realized their primary output was now replaceable. And that was the crucial moment of decision.
And they didn't panic. They didn't just try to learn a dozen new AI platforms. They strategically moved up and out.
Exactly. They shifted their focus to level 2, charging a premium for their business judgment advising clients on which AI-generated plans to reject based on their 2 decades of experience.
But they didn't stop there.
No, they also moved into level 3, building direct relationships, offering high-value interpersonal Zoom sessions, and even some physical products. They diversified their value across the protected tiers.
So the content itself became cheap.
The level 1 part, yeah. But the contextual advice level 2 and the personal connection level 3, that became expensive.
That transition story is so key. But applying this framework isn't just about job security. It's also tied to quality of life, the health factor.
This is a huge, often overlooked insight. We tend to see level 3 as the ideal, the safe harbor. But the research points out that many people in highly demanding level 3 jobs, think nurses, physical therapists, owners of large cleaning businesses, they are experiencing severe burnout.
In their 20s.
Yes, in their 20s. Their work is untouchable by AI, but it is physically and emotionally crushing them.
So they're making good money, perhaps, but the demand, the physical presence, the emotional toll of constant interaction, it's just destroying their health.
In that kind of scenario, the strategic move might actually be downwards. You might consciously choose to transition away from a high burnout level 3 physical job and embrace a level 1 supervision role.
So you trade high stress for maybe a more stable, lower stress, but still mentally engaging role.
Prioritizing your work-life balance. Exactly. Knowing your level isn't just about protection, it's about choosing the kind of pressure you want to live under.
And once that choice is made, the framework demands commitment. The philosophy, according to the source, is that AI stands for all in.
You cannot succeed by dabbling. Once you pick your runway, whether it's scaling volume at CARG, refining judgment at TAJE, or building trust at RIP, you have to commit like 80% of your energy and time to that singular focus.
And that's where the airplane analogy is so powerful. Your career, your business, is the plane. If you're constantly zigzagging on the runway, trying a level 1 ebook one week, chasing a level 3 client the next, the plane will never pick up enough speed.
They'll never achieve liftoff.
Never. To accelerate and succeed, you have to lock onto one direction, apply maximum thrust, and just keep at it until lift is achieved. That relentless focus is the only way to generate real success, regardless of the tier you choose.
So this framework, Cargo, TAJE, RIP it provides you with this essential lens to assess exactly where you are and, more importantly, where you're aiming. It helps you figure out if the work you're doing today will even be valuable tomorrow.
But our deep dive reveals that the decision is, well, deeper than just job safety. The discussion about these three levels forces you to confront not just where AI can replace you, but where your job might just fundamentally destroy your health and your capacity for joy, even if it is technically protected. So what does this all mean for you, the learner? The critical decision isn't just, can AI take my job? But maybe it's more, is this the job that aligns with my long-term health and goals? And is this the path I truly want to go all in on?
Knowing your value is the prerequisite, but committing to a sustainable path, that's the ultimate strategy.